All right, we're gonna kind of get started. Nick, do you want to kill the music up there? Do you know how to do that, Nick? You do. All right, people rolling around the warm-up circle, come on in. Come on in. Juniors rolling around. Steven, come on in. Logan, you can stay there. You don't have to gather because I have a microphone. Wonderful. All right. If I can have people's attention. I'm on the podiums. My voice is coming from over there. It's a little confusing. Juniors in the back, pay attention. Juniors in the back. There you go. Welcome, everybody. This is kickoff weekend, and the weather decided to cooperate for us. Yeah. So thank you all for being here and following all of the rules. You're all doing a great job. Like I said, we're keeping masks on. When you get over into staging, the officials will instruct you to take them off, put them on your body somewhere. After you finish, basically as soon as you can, stop on the back straight. If you can do that in a half lap, awesome. If you need to take a victory lap, take a victory lap. When you come home stretch, try to get onto the apron. Stop on the back straight, put up your mask. This is when the buffs are really nice because you can just pull them up, right? You don't have to stop. Once your mask is on, you can roll in the warm-up circle. We'll try to wait for the next group to roll out. But the idea is we're going to try to keep things moving today. So if you can get you off the track sooner, the next group can start. So we're just going to try to keep things moving a little bit. Other general announcements besides this event, we also have the auction going on. If you haven't checked it out, do that. There's some really, really cool stuff. We also have dessert boxes for sale. So after you race, if you want some awesome desserts, they're $30. You go get them. It is well worth the money. There will also be a couple preems in the scratch race for desserts. So you'll have those as well. Trying to think of other things. You will still need to check in tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening. We still have to do a similar check-in, so remember to do that. Andy, anything else we need to... We're good. We're just so excited to see so many people. I do ask that you spread out just a little bit. I know it's hard. We like to gather.
Be ready to be called to staging.
Yes, so with 3 laps to go in the race before you, you're going to be called to staging. Help each other out. If you know you're the next race, be like, hey, dude, get over here. Like, let's work together to make it go faster. So it looks like the juniors are almost ready. But yes, it is going to be a long night with all the Keirin Heats, so help each other out. Let's get staging going. I'm going to get over to Tim here for some race information. But like I said, thank you for being here. This is awesome. I'm very excited.
Okay, so when you get ready for your races, we're going to form up on the warm-up circle in the grid, the F1 style grid that's over there. James will come over, give you start instructions for your race. He'll tell you then you can remove your mask. He will then start you for your race. For the races tonight, we're going to start off with a series of points races. 4x2 for the juniors, 4x3 for the Cat 4 men, 4x3 for the Cat 4 women, 4x3 for the Cat 3 men, and 4x4 for the Cat 1-2 men. Then the juniors are going to roll out for a 6-lap scratch race. Then we're going to start the JB Keirin Heats. So they've got 2 heats for all of the races except the Cat 1-2 men, where we've got 3 heats. With the JB Keirin Heats, remember the motor's going to pull off with 1.5 laps to go. So the motor's pulling off on the backside. At that point, you've got 1.5 laps to go. When the race before you gets going, the next race needs to get over into the warm-up circle so we can move things along. And we've got a long night tonight. After all of the Keirin Heats, the juniors are going to come back out for another 4x3 points race. Then we're going to have all of the Keirin Finals. These are going to be major finals only. So for each of the heats, except for the 1-2 men, there'll be 2 people advancing, 1-2 men, or 3 people from each heat. 1-2 men will be 2 people from each heat advancing. After all of the Keirin Finals, we'll go into a series of scratch races. 16 for the Cat 4 men, 16 laps for the women, 20 for the Cat 3 men, 25 for the 1-2 men. I guess with that, juniors, let's get to the warm-up circle.
All right, folks, we are ready to get started tonight. We got some great racing for you, and our first group up is the juniors. This weekend, we've got all of our riders invited to participate, really. So it's a big program. A lot of competitors showing up this weekend, and our biggest fields yet makes sense for our big kickoff event. We've been slowly gaining riders back and figuring out our safety protocols, being like, yeah, you know what, for real, we are racing again in 2021. So folks are coming back out and joining us for this exciting weekend, including you on the outside of the track supporting our riders. Thank you for being here and joining in with us, as well as those that might be tuning in online. We are about to start with our first race. Our juniors getting lined up for a points race. While they're in the neutral, I will always do my best to give the rules of the race again for you so you kind of know what's happening with our athletes. We'll let our officials get this race started right now.
All right, juniors, we're going to leave the masks on, and we're going to roll out from here on your neutral.
All right, that's the whistle just for the neutral. Next time around, the racing will get started. This is our junior field. The future of racing, well, they're racing right now, and this is going to be a good one for us as our young riders getting started. The next time around, we'll start counting down the laps, as this is going to be an exciting 8-lap points race. Points racing is an opportunity for riders to get points on certain laps. So we're actually going to be doing some math during this one. We got to count things up and figure out who wins over the course of what will actually just be 2 sprints in this one. So there's 2 opportunities to get points here. And the way this breaks down is a 4x2 points race. If you're looking at our schedule, that means 4 sprints every 2 laps. So actually there's 4 sprints in this one. I got that one backwards. I'm warming up myself here. That means the sprinting is going to come pretty frequently. We're going to hear a bell every other lap. It's going to keep these juniors on their toes and working for points. And that sound is the first lap now underway. 8 to go. You're going to get a bell next time, juniors, so they're already starting to get ready for that one. Riders at the front of the field pick up points. This is how it goes. The first rider gets 5, the second rider gets 3, the third rider gets 2, and the fourth rider gets 1. So 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders on any lap. That there is a bell letting us know it's one of those sprint laps. The final lap, the final sprint, is worth double. 10, 6, 4, and 2. So you got to keep track of that as well. Any ties and points is broken by your position on the very final sprint. So we'll keep our eyes on this one. Here comes our very first points sprint. Seeing 7 to go. And the very first move is going to come out, it looks like, from Logan Lee. He's wearing the colors of Broadmark, Realty Capital Team, our sponsor in Turn 1 over there. And their team not only bring out great athletes every single week, but they've been supporters and sponsors of this track for years now. Logan with a good early move. It looks like that's going to be JC Pyle that was ready to come in with the counter move. He's got that neon helmet on, and he's going to be looking to pick up the first 5, it looks like. JC on the move, looking good here at 6 to go. He'll get a bell next time, as will the rest of this field. Logan looks like he'll get the 3 points. Nicely done. I think that was Jack Hampson, 5:09, got the 2 points coming in across the line with that orange bike. So again, this is our youngest field of riders. We do break up our riders into different categories, not only based on age. Under a certain age, they're generally put into these junior fields, but they also do have categories on the track, and you'll see some of those later tonight if you're not familiar with track racing. We'll break things up quite a bit tonight. There's all sorts of different race formats and lots of different categories to roll on out here today. Bells are ringing at 5 to go. Halfway through this race, next time around, we'll see who our next race leader will be. Our early race leader, JC Pyle, currently in the second wheel. I think he got 1 point earlier, was Gavin Newman. Really down low and looking really efficient through the turn. The leader on the lap right now. He's going to try to find the 5 here as JC's trying to hold on for the 3, and we have a new challenger moving in and out of the corner. It looks like it will be 508, Gavin Newman picking up the big 5 there. Jack Hampson, I think, finds the 3 points. Pyle will pick up 2 more in the sprint. Looks like it was Cooper Bunn, the rider to pick up the single point there, the fourth rider across the line. He's back in that group of 3. That's just now about to hit turn 3 underneath the Stanley sign. The lead of the race now coming out of turn 4. Gavin getting some encouragement as another bell's coming. He's going to be taking the lead of this race pretty quickly, along with his partner in crime here, Jack, the rider in the dark blue right behind him. And JC now looking down his tires going, I got to find some more speed here and hold on to this attack from these 2 juniors. Our current race leader, JC Pyle, not at the front right now, so we're going to have a new leader after this sprint. He's got 7, Newman's got 6, and here comes Jack Hampson, currently with 5, but he'll get 5 more for 10, I believe. Should be our new race leader. Gavin finds 3 more, a rider in the light blue colors. JC Pyle for the Jerry Baker Juniors team finds 2 in the sprint, and a nice sprint for 1. Looks like Cooper again, I think. 506 on the inside, I think, picked that up. My calls are always unofficial. I'm not the person that sanctions these races. All right, it will be Cooper called for that 1 point for sure, and that nice sprint there. On deck, our next field already ready to go. Thank you for being there and helping the speed of our program tonight. Cat 4 is ready for their points race. It's the final sprint, 1 to go, double the points. Jack is on the move here. Number 509 with a nice move off the front and continuing just to drive it now, trying to get away from Gavin on this final sprint, looking for the 10 points. And the rest of our field here are these 4 riders, all wearing the colors of the Jerry Baker Jr. team, all in pursuit of our lead 2. Getting the bell is Logan is doing an awesome job today here as well, looking at the 1 to go and finishing it out strong. 1 to go. 1 to go for our juniors here. And out of the turn, it looks like here comes our race winner who will be picking up the final 10 points. Jack Hampson looking good here for 10 to finish it out. Nicely done. Gavin Newman for 6 more points should find second. I think JC will hold on to third with these 4 points here. My call is unofficial, and it looks like that might have been Indigo sweeping in for the 2 points on that final sprint. Couple more riders to finish up before we bring up our next one. How about another round of applause for our juniors? Nice sprint here, Logan, to finish it up. Good effort to the end. And help out our last group here. Here they come. They're going to sprint for all the cookies in the cookie jar. Hit it hard. Here they come. Nice job, juniors. Coming up next, Cat 4s for their points race are currently in the warm-up circle and queued up. Cat 4s, Cat 4 men, please, for your points race. On deck will be the women competitors for their points race.
All right, Cat 4s, you can remove your masks. We're going to roll out from here. This is a 4x3 points race. So riders ready, we'll roll on our neutral lap as soon as you're ready. All right, roll out.
The rules will remain the same here as you saw a moment ago, so the points race will feel very familiar.
Well, they're gonna go.
This for our Category 4 competitors going out for their points race. Same rules apply. They're currently on the neutral. And don't forget, folks, we are currently in the middle of an auction going on to support the track. I'm going to be putting that promo out there several times during the stream here and pointing you towards our website for the auction. You can go to one.bidpal.net/JBMB auction. That's up on the screen currently for online. Or if you're here in person, don't forget you can go to velodrome.org/live. And the link is also listed right there at the top. So check that out. Go support the track. Find some great items only available during our auction this weekend, closing Sunday. Currently the track, they saw 12 to go in this points race on that first lap. They're underway. Lots of sprinting again in this one, but it's a 4x3, which means 4 sprints every 3 laps. So a little bit more time in between. Not a bell lap yet, but there's still plenty of speed here in our Cat 4s. A lot of juniors in this field, but also just a good-sized field in general here early in our season. Our Cat 4s showing up in numbers to compete on the Friday night. Next lap, the bells ring in to get things a little bit speedier and get our early points out. With 4 sprints, if you want to get into a top 5 or top 6 position, you do want to try to aim for one of these early points laps, no question about it. Obviously, when you value that last one double, that's going to play real big into a shorter points race like this. But still, this is going to be good value for our riders that think that they may not have the endurance tonight for the later sprints. At 10 to go, next lap, we'll start getting some points out as it's going to be an early attack over the top from Benjamin Flom. He's wearing that orange of fell swoop, and off he goes as he swoops down to the sprinter's lane, opening up several bike lengths of distance. Now he is on the fly. Some of the field starting to find their ability to pick up on his move. But it looks like Ben is already in a great position for these first 5 points. Should be an early race leader here coming out of the turn is going to be our orange rider. Fell swoop for 5. JB Jr.'s fighting over the 3. Itai Malakoff, it looks like, finds 3. Joe Spranger for 2. I believe that was Parker Stanford finding the 1 point unofficially in there. So 3 of the juniors for the Jerry Baker team getting the 3-2-1. 8 to go. Parker at the lead is 417, his bib number. He's got 1 point, so he's sitting in 4th overall. Our rider in 2nd place swinging up out of the way is Malakoff. A lot of riders out there with the black and the blue is the local team, our Jerry Baker Jr. sponsored squad. And 7 to go. We got points next lap. 7 to go. Points next lap. All right, coming out of the field, it looks like Joe Spranger found the position he needed to break away a little bit. So Joe rolling downhill for the 5. Nicely done. Zach Jurassic fighting for the 3. It looks like he'll find it. And I think that was Ritter for 2. Malakoff for 1, the unofficial call. Two to go. For our Cat 4s in the points race. On deck, our women competitors should be set to go for their points race. In the warm-up circle and queued up, women competitors. And there's the bell at 1 to go. It's 1 to go. Spranger leading this final lap, looking for the 10 points. Look out, though. Riders in position. I'm looking out at Orden Thordarson is in position there. One of our competitors all the way from LA competing this weekend. We're just starting to heat up around here, and he's bringing the California heat a little bit, but look out as the field is on the move. Whoa, here they come out of the turn. You thought it was already over at the finish line, but no way. Here comes two riders side by side. It looks like Ben Jurassic versus Ben Flom. It'll be Jurassic, Flom, and Melikov sneaking in there for the 4 in a great position. A great move as the field really surged in the back straight. Not able to drop those fast sprinters in their fast finish. I got a little bit away from the results there, so I'll get those official numbers up here in just a moment, as I kind of had to take a bit of a tour away from the mics, and I'll get those out to you in just a moment. Good reminder, though, if you want to see those updated results as they get finalized, you can do so at the website velodrome.org/live. Nicely done for a Cat 4. It's an exciting points race to start their evening off. They'll make their way off on this next lap as we are set to go with the next field here momentarily. All right, stick with us, folks. We have a great set of races set up for you tonight. We're excited to have some Keirin racing going on later tonight. Some scratch racing to close out our evening. It's a fantastic program, and we're so excited to share it with you. So I'll be back on the mic after this race has gotten started.
All right, women, we're going to roll out from here. It's a 4x3 points race. I'll start you when you come around. Roll out.
All right, women competitors, they're neutral. I think you're starting to see how this points racing thing works. It's going to be another one of those. So more points racing coming our way. And it's another 4x3, 4 sprints every 3 laps. You're enjoying the racing action tonight. Don't forget, we'll be back again tomorrow. We start at 6 p.m. tomorrow for another evening of racing. Our final session tomorrow at 6 p.m. will be more mass starts. And if you're just kind of curious and you're enjoying this whole thing, want to see more about it, we have some time trials in the morning if you want to see athletes take on the clock. That'll be sort of one rider on the track getting their best times as they can. Although we will end with the sprint tournament. So if you want to see some head-to-head matchups, that's going on starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Our second session focused mostly on those time trials. We also have a sprint tournament in there. We'll be streaming those as well, so if you want to check those out online, those will be available through YouTube and Facebook. And that whistle clearly signifying the beginning of the race. Off we go, 12 to go. That's right, put your hands together. You can make some noise as they go by, encouraging on this first lap. Time to pick your rider. Maybe you came here to support somebody, or maybe you didn't. I'll try to help you find somebody in there throughout the night as we talk about our riders. All right, so with 3 laps in between these sprints, again, this first lap is going to be kind of the setup or the establishing one. The next one will be the bell, and then we'll have that full-on speed, sort of picking up the first early points. I come back to confirm that it looks like Jack Hampson did pick up the victory in our previous race. Or excuse me, that was in our junior race. I'm on the wrong thing here. I'm learning another system. Click, click, click. Eleven to go. All right, there we go. Ben Jurassic getting 13 points, our winner in the previous field. Ben Flom with 11. Looks like he finds the second place, I believe. Melikov in third. Those are the unofficial numbers. So good racing for them. Again, our winner on that last lap does end up being the winner of the race. Not always the case in the points race, although in these shorter ones that can be the case. Looking at 10 to go, this will be our first bell. Edwards at the front with the white helmet and the blue kit. Our first points next lap. The red of Ashley Hudson riding for Team Audi has accelerated to the front of this field. Coming through the turn, she has the front spot right now in this field, but it will be a contended sprint as Annette Williams coming back to track says, I want the first 5. I'm going to take that one. Kelly Darlene looking good for 3, and our initial attack from Hudson should be good for the 2. I think I caught Liquid Velo in the black and green. Alexander might have found the 1. We will confer and confirm. Our field back together, and our early race leader, Annette Williams, in the dark blue of the Kenmore Velo Center Cycles team, is our early race leader. She is wearing bib 102 for having finished in the 2019 season very high in our Omniums. Our second place rider, 101, also very good in the Omnium in 2019, both with good points here tonight, so you can kind of watch those two at 7 to go. Bib 101 and 102 are high on the track right now and sort of towards the back a little bit. Who wants to find the lead now? This will be our second point sprint, and you can watch those two leaders, as I was talking about, already starting to position themselves as the middle of the field is now accelerating over the sprinter's lane. Sort of single file formation as they move to the front, now taking the short way around the track. We will likely see these riders fan out through the turn. It looks like one rider that hasn't found points yet, Heather Nielsen, also finding position here is the rider in red with the neon helmet. She's going to pick up some big points here as she put herself in a great spot. It'll be Nielsen taking over Stotts just a little bit there. So the ride on the inside finding 3 in the sprinter's lane. Darlene for 2 and Williams, I believe, for 1. All right, we'll confirm points here shortly, but it does look like we've got a tight race after a couple of sprints. My unofficial numbers show Annette Williams is the leader with 6. 2 riders with 5 apiece is Nielsen and Darlene, both sitting in second place. After that, fourth should be Stotts with 3. 1 rider with 1 is Alexander. Those numbers recently announced do match our confirmation from the officials side. 4 to go. Williams with 6, Darlene and Nielsen with 5, Stotts with 3, Hudson with 2, and Alexander with 1. Our official count as the bell is ringing for the penultimate sprint. That's going to be, I believe, Stotts. Alicia Stotts down the back straight at the lead of this field currently, with Heather Nielsen, the winner of the previous sprint, right there and in position. But look out from the field as it continues to come from the middle of the pack. As they come out of the turn, it's going to be Annette Williams finding another turn of speed, looking real strong right down the blue line. Williams, Nielsen, close between Darlene and Stotts. I'm not sure who got the 2 and the 1 for sure, but I think Williams did find the 5. All right, the next bell will be for the final sprint in the big 10, 6, 4, and 2 will be at the line. Alexander in the black and green. Edwards now takes the front position. Riders without points yet, trying to find maybe a big sprint at the end. Maybe they're in the conservative mode. Nobody with more than 10 points yet. So there is the theoretical situation where one of our current race leaders doesn't find points, and a rider winning this final sprint could suddenly find themselves in the top of this thing. So we'll be interested to see who finds their way to the front of the pack in this final sprint. Certainly not slow, but a little bit of bunching in the turn as you're getting ready and watching for the next big move. And there it is. It's 1 to go. 10 points at the line. Next time to lead the lap at 1 to go. Who's going to find their way there? McLaughlin, our Portland competitor in the all black, has found herself at the front of the race and nobody in front of her. She says, sure, I'll put some power in the pedals. Here we go. A rider without any points. I just mentioned if the stars align here, she finds 10 and someone else that has points can't find any here. She suddenly might be our winner. Edwards also trying to lock things up and move towards the front. Looking for this move. McLaughlin's losing the lead position. Here comes Edwards out of the turn. It's going to be the blue helmet of Darling trying to challenge. It looks like it's going to be Edwards and... oh, look out for the big move from Danny Scoville of the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team. Bib 210. Edwards for 6. Saving up for the big points there. And again, if everything lines up right for her, having made the big move at the end there, 10 points. Nobody had more than that coming into the sprint. The only rider that got points that had any before, I believe, was Williams. So this could be a big move for the kiddo as she got 10 in that last sprint, moving her right up into the top position. So well done in the final sprint for Danny. One more round of applause for the women competitors in a fantastic and exciting points race. They'll make their way off next time around. Well ridden today. Exciting stuff. We do have our next field already ready to go. It looks like our Cat 3 competitors are lined up. Thanks for being ready and queued up for your competition. Cat 1-2s are up after them.
All right, Cat 3s race a 12-lap strat race, 12-lap points race, sprints every 3. We're going to roll neutral from here. Roll out.
Off we go. Cat 3 men for a 12-lap event. On deck, the Cat 1-2s will be going for their points race as well, our final of the points race events, before we'll shift it up a little bit. That's why it's so fun to watch track racing. You get to watch them go around the big bowl over and over again, and the racing keeps changing. So more racing formats coming up here shortly as our Cat 3's on the track right now in their neutral. Whoa, the big move. Hunley 309. Broadmark Realty says, I got these legs ready to roll. Let's get rocking here. Early on in the race, no bell. But, you know, it was a little bit slow on that first lap. Let's get things accelerated. Why not? Certainly waking up the field, but I don't think Kuhn had designs to get away from anybody, and certainly nobody wants to let him do that early in this race. 11 to go. Kuhn taking this first pull, likely to pull up and give someone else the front now, as we're wont to do on this track. Don't spend too long up there. Looking around to see if anybody's going to join in on this second move here. Not a whole lot of action. It looks like we're just going to be waiting for the bell now, as our rider is going to be a little closer to the blue line, leaving that sprinter's lane open for the next rider to go in. That looks like Snowblin in the all white says, sure, I'll take it. 10 to go. First points next lap. And a nice move down the hill as Isaac Jurassic was trying to get himself lined up to slingshot around the front there a little bit. Pop himself into front position, and now we've got 4 riders up for the points. Who's going to find it at the front? Isaac Jurassic holding on for the 5. Can he get it? 5 for Jurassic. 3:17 in the blue, I think, for 3. Chris Wilson, I think, found the 2. So it'll be Jurassic with 5 in the lead. Hedrick sitting in second with 3. Wilson found 2 for third, and currently with 1 point is Kaiser. Those riders are all in the front grouping currently, and our race leader, the rider with 5, is in black and green for Team Liquid Velo. You can look for bib number 301. He is a junior competitor, but looking fast here in 2021. Keep your eyes on him as our field now starting to reset themselves after the big sprint for the early lead. And it's 7 to go. The bell's ringing again. No time to rest. The sprints come fast. Snoblin coming underneath will take that sprinter's lane and is going to try to launch about a 400-meter effort for himself here, the rider in white. And it looks like we're going to have a bunch, another big bunch for the sprint. So Levi, the rider in the dark black there, all black kit picks up the 5 points. Four to go. Another point spread upcoming here as it's going to be Jonathan Levi. I got to fix that one. Off the front in the black and blue. Certainly in position for these 5 points. No concern there, but a nice sprint behind him for the 3 as it looks like Snoblin at the lead as Chris Wilson's now coming around the top. Isaac Jurassic and Henry Kaiser, the laser, on the move as well. 5 for John. Chris Wilson's for 3, Isaac Jurassic 2, and I think Henry Kaiser for the 1. Two to go. Our front group is right under the Broadmark Realty Capital sign. And there's the bell. Our current race leader Levi in the field right now at 1 to go with 10 points. He's a couple wheels back as now Snoblin puts himself in a great position at the front of this field, but so does one of our juniors in that orange helmet. Look out. He's been saving up for one more big sprint. This is going to be huge. Kaiser's not without points. He currently has what looks to be 2. If he can get 10 more here, that'll put him up at 12. Currently good enough to overtake any other riders. We'll see how the points shake out. Here he comes, the laser, launching out of turn 4. What a move. 10 points. Chris Wilson 6. I think Isaac Jurassic might have inched in for the 4. Awfully close against Carl Pratis, rider 304. Excellent final sprint. And I'll be back here in a moment as we're going to start with our next race after our current field is off the track. Cat 1-2 men for the points race coming up in just a moment.
Okay, we're gonna roll out from here. We're racing a 16-lap points race, sprints every 4. And we'll roll from here. Roll out.
And our final points race coming onto the track now, our Cat 1-2 men competitors. 16 laps showing for this 4x4, 4 sprints every 4 laps. Same number of sprints, just a little bit extra lappage in there. Make it a little bit longer. Get this one started after the neutral. Women, if you could check, women competitors, could you check the results for the previous race? There may be some points discrepancies from your points race. Again, you can go velodrome.org/live. The officials would appreciate that. And don't forget, currently going on online is our auction for the Marymoor Velodrome Association. The 2021 auction is once again an online event. We've got a silent auction ongoing where you can bid by going through our online portal, and there are some fantastic items you can only get by browsing our auction. You can bid now online. The link for that is actually currently showing on the stream. That's the letters one.bidpal.net/JBMV auction. You can also find it by going to velodrome.org/live. And it should be right there at the top of the link. You can get signed in and start bidding on items today. The auction closes on Sunday. Off we go at 16 to go, and on this very first lap, it will be Andy Baker, the man of the first lap. You come here often, you'll hear him on lap 1 taking that lead for the Broadmock Realty Capital team and making sure it's fast racing right off the get-go. $15 laps to go, and we are flying here in our Cat 1-2s, our largest field yet for the field this season. I think we got 20 athletes, maybe 19 that officially showed up tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Cat 3 results are uploaded as well. Cat 3 results uploaded. 14 to go. Next lap will be a bell. And things are cooking it still in this field as we're nearly a single file. You can just see the speed of this field. They are anxious to race. They know this is going to be a short one, so you got to make it quick. Next lap, we will hear our first bell for the group. And there's our bell. Bid number 24, we go after John Butler. He Express. He started things off throughout the lap for this bell lap, but moving from the middle of this field, I believe that's going to be Wilson's the rider in blue. He has the numbers 25 on his bid. He is moving through turn 3 and 4. Pretty with him, a field of 5 that wants to sprint nice and early here. Our lead group coming around the turn. Looks like it's going to be Bowie for 5, Baker 3. I got bib number 30, I believe, finding the 2 points is Galen Erickson for the Dean Johnson cycling team making an appearance tonight. I believe finding the 2. And now we start to see a bit of a snap between our lead 5, make it Maybe we're closing that gap down. I'm not certain how long that's going to stay, but it is a group of 5 that find themselves just off the front as the field anxious to bring him back. Our unofficial race leader, John Bowie, the rider in black and green that just found himself at the front of field, who pulls up to the right with a very nice sprint there in the previous couple laps with 5. So we'll keep our eyes on Bowie, the rider in black and green. He's wearing bib 3 at 10 to go. Currently leading the race. In second, I think I got Andy Baker, bib 4. He's a little bit around mid-pack right now. So another rider to keep your eyes on early in the race. And we got more points coming next lap at 9 to go. Our current race leader is pushing the pace. He set the blue line, though. That's inviting somebody else to take the lower position. He's looking for a wheel. So he doesn't want to be at the lead of this thing. Look out, though, the middle of the field, not waiting for anybody. We got fresh riders. Women's finish has been revised, if you would like to take a look at that. Women's finish results have been revised. Off the front now is making a big move here. Nolan Adams in the black and pink. Bib number 11. And Baker still fighting for the points. It will be number 15. Matty Hers for 3, I believe, over Baker for the 2. 5 points to Nolan Adams at the front of that field. Certainly a tight race. I got 3 riders at 5 points right now. So the top of the field, nice and competitive. Seeing 7 to go. 2 sprints remain. And Matty Herr is riding the wave of the first sprint, his first sprint of the night. He did not slow off the pace. He used that as an opportunity to launch himself off the front of this field and now doing the solo effort. So our rider here in the black with the green accents, 6 to go. Getting some encouragement from the infield as it's about time for him to try to cash in on points. If he's already out here, you got to try to get more for your effort. He'll get the bell next lap, and the field now starting to chase a little bit in on him, but still plenty of room for Matty to get this next one. Not a huge concerted effort, really. If you look at the formation of the field, the front's a little bit hesitant. Bell's ringing. More points next time around. Tied for the lead of the race right now. Number 15 wants to get more. And here comes a move from Galen Erickson, number 30. Bell's ringing for points. Erickson's got 2 points, currently in 5th. Baker, Adams, and Bowie are the riders with 5 apiece. My mistake, Matty Hers is in 4th right now with 3, but if he can find 5, he'll be our new race leader. So the rider in black and green in great position now. And look at this, with Galen Erickson moving up, this might be a 2-man effort. 4 to go, and 5 for Hers, and 3 for Galen Erickson. Our new race leader, Matty Hers, and a sprint for 2 will be Bowie and Nolan Adams, I think, the rider for the 1. Current race leader, Matty Hers with 8. The unofficial totals. 7 points to Bowie in 2nd. In 3rd is 6 to Nolan Adams. 5 points to Erickson in 4th. Tied with 5 points to Baker, also in 4th place. That's all the riders I currently have with points. So not many riders with points, but it's a close competition. Only 3 points separating 1st from 5th right now. Matty Hers, the rider in black and light green over there on the far side of the track with the rider in blue and red, are the lead riders on the field right now. They are in the front of the pack. Currently, Matty in the black, our leader in points. 2 to go, the big final sprint coming. Bowie has been really active here at the front despite getting some really nice early sprints. He's still up the front of this field chasing down the leaders. He's got some help from Nick Martinez as well. And here we go. It's one to go. The final sprint with Galen Erickson leading things out. Who's going to find the big final 10? Bib number 15, our current race leader, now in position. Nick Martinez doesn't have a point to his name yet, but boy, would he find a good time to get up to the front. Number 18 in the white and blue. Well positioned here to make this final sprint happen. Martinez now at the front. Galen Erickson matching for speed. If he can find this rear wheel and get himself around the top at the final moment, he will find 10 in this sprint. It's going to be Bowie and Hers chasing down, but I think it's now just going to be Erickson and Martinez, and Erickson playing this very well. Has one more sprint in the legs. He'll come up around the top to find the 10. 6 for Martinez, 4 more for Bowie, and Matty Hers finds the 2. As any ties will be broken, and there's a lot of riders without points, so they're back here sprinting against each other as well to break those positions and those ties. Plenty more racing to come tonight from all of our fields as we're about to transition into a new type of race. All right. I believe with 15 points, Galen Erickson will end up being our winner out of that competition. So we'll get those results updated and posted to that link on the live website. Up next, we have our juniors taking the track for a scratch race. So we're going to throw in one scratch, and then we're going to get into the Kieran shortly after. So Cat 4 men, you're on deck here for the Keirin Heats.
All right, juniors, we're going to ride a 6-lap scratch race. We're going to roll neutral from here. There will be one preem for a dessert box during this race. Riders ready? Roll out.
A dessert box for a, oh man. Can I get in the race? Those are good. They're still for sale, by the way. $30 will get you a delicious dessert box from Blue Ribbon, our fantastic caterers for our normal in-person auction. They helped us out this year with some fantastic dessert boxes. Again, $30. You can still pick them up. We will have more for sale tomorrow as well.
So Corey, the dessert box is on your bell or Peter's bell sometime during this race. And then Cap 4's Keirin Heats 1 and 2. If you guys want to start staging in order, that would be fantastic. Keirin Heats, Cap 4's, come on and get staging.
All right, scratch racing about to start here for the juniors. This is pretty straight up. First rider across the line after the given number of laps is the winner. Nothing too crazy in a scratch race except for speed and a dessert box. We're going to ring the bell from the infield at some point to reward a dessert box for these juniors as well. So we are calling our first heat. We'll make sure that our heats are coming for our incoming Keirans. Here come our juniors on their first lap of racing in the scratch race. Seeing 5 to go. First rider to finish, our winner. Everybody's looking at each other, trying to... We saw already a measure of their speed in the points race, so we'll see how this race plays out. A little different, hopefully, than the previous one. It is going to be Stotts, Fowler, Jurassic, Dugan, Flom, Campbell Harris, and Stanford are the riders in Heat 1, or Heat A, for the Cat 4 men. That's Ben Jurassic. So Stotts, Fowler, Ben Jurassic, Dugan, Flom, Campbell Harris, and Stanford are riders in Heat A. All right, our juniors field still all together, about to hit the halfway mark here shortly. Yes, there is junior racing here at the track, and there's not only junior racing, there's also junior classes in education. We pride ourselves in helping athletes find the sport. You can register a kid for a week-long camp to get them really educated on how to race and get them started and feeling really comfortable out here by heading to the website, velodrome.org. They'll spend a whole week here in some sessions, get dropped off for some fun. Whoa, the bike, what's going on here? Is this for dessert? 3 to go, we got a dessert box, and JC says, yep, I need all the carbs I can get. Off he goes. That is one big move for the sweets. So if you too want to see your kid out here sprinting for sweets, they got to get trained up first, and the easiest way to do that is through the Camp Velo program, a week of getting dropped off at the track for a couple hours to get their education they need for racing and competing. Sign up on the website at velodrome.org under the education tab. 2 to go, no reason to keep rolling it. JC finds the dessert box. 406 is going to pull up out of the way a little bit, looking for some helpers, I guess. And a 2 to go. Our field a little bit broken up from the sprint action. All right, here we go. It's been building up to this big finish. It's 1 to go. 1 to go. Our top 2 from the last race find themselves at the front of this one. Gavin Newman, Tritech look down those drop bars, looking very aero and efficient through the first turn. The white bike frame leading it out. Jack Hampson right on his wheel, as is JC, inspired by the recent dessert box victory, and he's got some energy in his sprint now. Look at this. Not only enough for the dessert, but he's going to try to find the win. Can he get it? Gavin's working to try to hold him off. It'll be JC coming around the turn. JC has enough in the scratch to pick up a victory, and a nice ride for him. Gavin and Jack will come across the line next, and here comes our big field sprinting. Oh, Logan's holding on. Whoa. That got a little busy at the line. Well done to our junior competitors, getting some help from the fans. Nice racing.
All right, Heat A, let's roll up to the rail. I'll start you with a whistle when the bike comes by. Yeah, take your Mac left now. Roll up to the rail, please.
Coming up, we've got the Keirins, we've got heats, so riders have to first make it through these heats to qualify for the major later on to get the top positions. This is a short race, it's 4 laps. It's going to be set by the pace of our e-bike. Currently on the back straight, about ready to get the signal to start. And there is the hand wave. Thanks to Jack for being our driver tonight. He will set the pace by slowly improving his speed over time, just kind of bringing him on up. At about 1.5 laps remaining on the back straight, he will pull out of the way, and then the riders will be allowed to compete however they wish to finish out this fast event. The Keirin coming up, our first heat. Moto exiting the turn. Riders ready. Let's bring any confusion about it. There is an order that's drawn before racing, so riders are coming into this moto with a set order that is randomized. We got Colin Stotts in position 1. Will Fowler draws number 2. Ben Jurassic in the 3rd spot. Travis Dugan in 4th. Benjamin Flom sitting at wheel position 5. James Campbell Harris drew number 6. And Parker Stanford at number 7. Results from our last race should go live here momentarily. So again, you can continue to post or check those out just about a minute or two after you get off your bike on the infield at velodrome.org/live. Now, the job of this pacer, again, is just to slowly increase the speed. The idea here is to be the draft. So no one has to do the work of drafting the group up to speed. but the moto. In this case, not a moto. We got our e-bike solution out here, brought to us by our friends at Greg's Cycles. They're a fantastic sponsor for decades now at the track. They've been a great partner and, of course, helping us pick up some great equipment over the years. They'll help you, too. Go check out one of their great locations around the Seattle area. Greg's Cycles is always there to help you out with your cycling needs. The red bike at the front, of course, being the wheel you can't cross in front of. So you'll notice that the group is all right behind them, and they're not really changing positions. They are allowed to do a little bit of shifting if they'd like, but it looks like everybody's happy with where they're at right now. We lose the moto next lap, so we're getting up to speed here in this final half lap at 2 to go. On deck should be Heat B. Sprenger, Malakoff, Jurassic, Thorderson, Douglas, Ritter, and Wills. After that will be the women, Keirin Heats. The bike pulls out of the way, and now it's going to be Stotts at the front of the field that can do as he pleases. He's going to keep the pace up. So as the moto goes away, he will now take that front and keep the pace high. Driving it. 1 to go. Who will make it into the final? I believe 3 advance out of this, so it's going to be Stotts at the front currently. Will Fowler in his wheel. Ben Jurassic also accelerating now down the back straight, and the field starting to surge. The hardest spot to be right now is at the front as this field found its second wind. Out of turn 2, 3 riders advance. James Campbell-Harris in the white, slotting into the middle of this thing too. Benjamin Flom in the orange and black for Fell Swoop is looking like he will find the front. Whoa! I think Campbell-Harris was just enough to hold off the charge of Parker. Unofficially, our top 3, Jurassic, Flom, and I believe Campbell-Harris. Unofficially, from my eye over here.
All right, Heat B. You will also have 3 riders advancing. As soon as these guys get by, we're going to roll up to the rail. I'll start you from the rail. When the bike comes by, you'll drop in behind the bike in the same order you are now. Bike comes off at 1.5. You need to stay in this order behind the bike. All right, let's roll up to the rail.
Our next heat now coming up is the second heat. This is Heat B for the Cat 4s. Position 1, Joe Spranger, Itai Malakoff in second spot, Zach Jurassic in the third spot, Odin Thordarson in fourth. Fifth wheel, Stan Douglas, Mike Ritter in sixth, and Kyle Wills in the seventh wheel spot. All right, and as announced earlier, that order will take their spot behind the wheel on this first lap, as it'll be Joe, bib 494, one of our junior riders, slotting in right behind the pacer. So you'll see these riders again later for a final that will determine the top position. So again, riders are advancing out of these heats. It's kind of like a mini tournament. And on some of our programs, we'll even do a couple of minor finals as well. But in this case, we're just going to take the major finals. We got a big program tonight, lots of racing. So our top 3 will advance, and we'll see them back in a field of 6 to determine the top 6 spots. And with these larger heats like this is a competitive set of heats we got to watch tonight. So should make for some fun Keirins. All right, a 2 to go. If you're watching on the stream, you're seeing the action behind our pacer, watching the Joe Spranger staring down that rear wheel, waiting for his chance to be at the lead. And will he try to change positions up at all, or is he going to keep the pace like we saw in the last race? That's a hard thing to do. If you draw position 1, are you just going to try to keep that speed up, or are you going to pull up and let someone else try to take the lead? How are you going to play? It looks like Joe will sort of maintain the pace. Itai on his wheel. Also happy to kind of stay right in there. And now the field's starting to bunch up on him. Looking for the first big acceleration. 1 to go. Top 3 advance. Joe in a great spot if he can get this acceleration going, but the field's starting to get a little bit anxious now. They're going to start moving into position. It will be Ritter, the rider in the pink for Dyna Racing, will take the sprinter's lane. Looks like as he's gotten up there. Not quite yet, but he's got the room for it as he now comes into it in the back straight. Itai Malikoff in a great spot, and he finds the wheel. I think that's going to be Stan Douglas, if I'm not mistaken, the rider in blue, also trying to hold on to this one, but it looks like Joe Spranger's not done yet. Top 3 advance, and it looks like it's going to be Ritter, Itai looking quick here, and Spranger, the top 3. Nicely done. We'll see those 3 again later. Heat A for the women is Williams, Scoville, Hudson, Alexander, Nielsen, and Huslander. That is their order as well. Heat B, Darlene, Gilchrist, Stotts, Edwards, and McLaughlin will make up Heat B. After the 2 women heats, Cat 3s, please be ready. Cat 3 men will be up after our women competitors.
All right, this is Heat A for the women. 3 riders will advance. We're going to roll up to the rail. First rider be right on the pursuit line. I'll start you from there with a whistle. When the bike comes by, you need to fall in behind the bike in the order you're in and stay in that order until the bike comes off.
We continue with Keirin Racing. We got 2 heats for our women competitors. We'll also be sending 3 to a major final. About ready to start our first heat here. On deck, Heat B should be getting ready to go shortly. Reverend Maddie hers is at Joe Kazanowski saying good job on the move in the last race. She's watching the stream. Good to hear from you, Joe. And the moto does get the signal. Don't forget to give us a subscribe on the YouTube channel. We'd appreciate it as we're going in numbers and trying to help spread the sport a little bit out here in the Pacific Northwest. The only track in the state. Trying to keep the sport alive and let folks know we're doing some pretty cool stuff here in Redmond, Washington. The moto is on its way, halfway through the turn. And the moto now exiting the turn. Annette Williams, position 1. Danny Scoville is wheel number 2. Ashley Hudson for the Audi racing team in red is wheel position 3. Emily Alexander is in 4th spot. Heather Nielsen, the 5th rider in the lineup, Leah Holslander, will be number 6. On deck in this order, Kelly Darlene, Lucy Gilchrist, Alicia Stotts, Lamar Edwards, and Alexandra McLaughlin. Cat 4s, you can now check for the Keirin Final, and your draw order is now online at the live link. So if you head to velodrome.org/live on your phone, you can check that real quick. I'll also try to announce that with some advance warning, so you're not surprised by that. But those should be now updated on the live link. You can look at the Keirin Finals for Cat 4 men, and the draw position should be on the far right. That should stay the same for each field as we update them. Moto bring him up to speed. We have about a lap left with the pacer now. Annette Williams in the dark blue is that rider that drew the first position and is staring down the moto. And we'll see the lead position first as the moto's about to leave on the back straight. Top 3 advance for our women's final from our first of 2 heats. And the pace starting to pick up here as the moto about to pull off to the left now in just a moment. And it'll be Annette's choice how she'll respond to the new responsibility of leading the field. She stays consistent, looking a little familiar to our last group. Not trying to push any harder than she was given speed there a moment ago. She'll contain this field by looking over the right shoulder at 1 to go. She has the powerful position of the front, but she knows that if she just plays this like a sprint and waits for someone else to move, she's got the shortest way around the track. She starts to see Heather Nielsen making a move, so she will respond now. So now it's Nielsen at the blue line trying to find a spot in the sprinter's lane. And Williams still dragging things out from the front. It looks like Scoville, the rider with that bright blue helmet on for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team, able to match pace of Annette. It'll be top 3 moving on to the major finals. Annette cruising through. Scoville looking like she can find the top 3 position, as well as Nielsen, our top 3, looking to move on into the major finals. Well done.
Okay, women, this will be the Heat B. 3 riders will advance. We're going to line up on the rail. First rider will go up to where the pursuit line is and line up in this order. I'll start you with a whistle when the pacer comes by, and you just fall in behind the pacer in the order you're in right now. Okay, go ahead and roll up to the rail.
All right, coming to the track, our second of the 2 heats. On deck should be Heat A for Cat 3 men. That's going to be in order: Snowblin, Lind, Levi, Wilson, Paredes. Those are our 5 in order for Heat A, Cat 3 men. And our moto getting the signal. Pacer on its way. And the whistle signals the start of this one. And off we go. 3 more riders to join into that exciting major final that's going to be coming later. That's Kelly Darlene, rider 101. Finding the bike first. It's Lucy Gilchrist, number 222 in the second spot. That's a lot of 2s. 204 is Leisha Stotts in position 3. Mar Edwards, 103, is the 4th rider. And she's wearing bib 114. It's Alexandra McLaughlin in the black for Bike Central. Coming up here from Portland, it's number 5 in the lineup right now with that bright green bike. Yeah, I see you out there watching us. We got lots of viewers on YouTube right now. If you're liking what you see, don't forget to throw a thumbs up on the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel for more racing. We always stream on Friday nights if we're out here racing, and we'll do special events as well. So you can find all that racing action streamed live, and sometimes we'll post some other content as well, promotional and otherwise. Doing our best to promote track cycling as we can up here from Redmond, Washington. I talked earlier about some junior education that happens here. We also have adult classes. They are 4-hour programs you can sign up for, again, at our website, velodrome.org, the best domain name in the sport. You can head there right now and get signed up for an adult track class, get an afternoon of excellent help from our staff. They'll get you a fixed gear bike. You don't even need to bring your own. We've got some here you can use to learn the sport and then start racing if you'd like to, or maybe you just want to know more about it. $40 class and a lot of fun. You can sign up for that online or even do a try of the track. It's just a short hour for $10. Just to have some fun out here with some help from our staff. They'll get you experiencing what it's like to race and ride on a track bike. It's a good time. DBC Photo, taking photos there on the back straight. He's getting the good shots for tonight. You can check it out after the racing action, dbcphoto.com, one of our great sponsors. Dennis does a fantastic job helping us promote what we're doing here, and his work is great. Check it out. One to go, one to go, one to go, one to go. Lined up in single file formation. It's going to be Darlene still driving the pace. Alicia Stotts in that light colored kit. She's going to start moving to position a little bit here, but it's still going to be Kelly looking really strong from the front of the field. She comes off the moto and just says, yeah, I can hold this speed, no problem. Lucy Gilchrist, 222, the second rider in the lineup. All twos for Lucy. She can come into this top 3 position there. Can she hold on to it? Alicia Stotts trying to find the 3rd spot. Edwards. Oh! Edwards and I think Gilchrist might have found their way into the major final, just barely over Alicia Stotts at the line. A nice 3-up sprint there to sort out the top 3s. That call unofficial, but looking pretty clear from where I was. We'll give our chance for our officials team to confer and update. Cat 3 men, yes, it is time for your heat. On deck is the Heat B. Heat B is going to be Hedrick, Jurassic, Branson, Wainwright, Kaiser, and Lee in that order. Please be on the warm-up circle and ready to queue up. Heat B for the Cat 3 men. They are followed by our Cat 1-2, the Elite Men competitors, Heat A.
All right, Cat 3, Heat A, go ahead and remove your masks. We're going to roll up to the rail. First rider go up to where the pursuit line is. We're going to start from the rail. When the pacer comes by, I'll start you with a whistle. Go ahead and roll up to the rail. And 3 riders will advance.
It does look like it was Edwards for the 3rd spot in the previous heat to confirm. The moto getting the signal. Pacer is away. And that whistle is going to be for our first heat here, the Cat 3 men. Again, 3 will advance. Peter Snoblin at position number 1. Chris Lind is the second rider. Jonathan Levi, the 3rd rider in the group. Chris Wilson number 4 in the lineup. Carl Pratis is the 5th. Some great racing going on tonight. We've got a whole summer full of it. And if you want to check out more racing action, that turn of phrase didn't work as well as I'd hoped. You can check online at our website, velodrome.org/calendar, to see all of the racing action going on throughout the summer months. Weekly racing is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as well as oftentimes now this year we have Sunday racing joining in on that, and there's even some occasional Saturday races. It's kind of crazy. But if you want to just know all the stuff going on, the best place is our calendar at the website. Riders, you can subscribe to all the race events pretty easily from your phone and add it to your calendar by heading to that link and then scroll down. You'll see a link to subscribe and add it to your calendar. Trying to make things a little more convenient this year for everybody. Keirin Heats the finals should be up and ready for the women. So the results from the women's heats should be ready to go. So check the final under the live results for women. Should be up and good to go. 2 to go. Things are cruising along nicely here for our Cat 3 men in this first heat of 2. And the pacer pulling out of the way at quick speed, leaving Peter Snoblin to make his choice how he wants to ride it. I am willing to say he's going to stay right there and accelerate even. That's going to be his favorite spot to move from, and it looks like he will take that opportunity. Up and out of the saddle at 1 to go. He got some acceleration out of the turn, and now he's just down in those bars, trying to keep it moving, trying to keep the pedal action nice and smooth. Look out from the field. Things are certainly not over for Snoblin as he helped accelerate the field, but now the counterpunch of the sprinters coming out of the turn. One of our fast juniors, Carl Pratis, takes the front spot. For Found Cycling, Chris Wilson also looking nice and quick. The rider in the green, it looks like we may already have our 3. Will these 3 hold on? It's going to be Wilson. It's going to be Levi, Wilson, and Pratis finding the top 3, and we'll see them again for the very fast major final later in the program.
All right, Cat 3s, this will be Heat V of the Kieran. 3 riders are going to advance. As soon as these riders get by, we'll roll out to the rail. First rider go up to where the pursuit line is. You'll stay in this order. When the pacer comes by, I'll blow the whistle, fall in behind the pacer, stay in this order until it comes off at 1.5 to go. All right, let's roll up to the rail.
On deck will be our Cat 1-2 competitors. Their first heat, Heat A, is going to be, I believe, Miller, Martinez, Wilsons, Siegel, Haldeman, and Bowie. Believe that will be Heat A in that order, if I'm not mistaken. Once again, Miller, Martinez, Wilsons, Siegel, Haldeman, and Bowie for Heat A. Heat B will follow. Getting the moto in position again here, so just a brief interim time as we get ourselves reset. If you're enjoying the stream, this is a good opportunity for me to talk about some of the benefits that we get from our community. Big fundraising efforts in this last year helped improve the live stream directly through our efforts during the auction and the end of year fundraising we've done. We are really the beneficiaries of a ton of great effort from our community. You can help us right now by visiting our online auction. Head to the word one.bidpal.net/JBMV auction and sign up today and get started bidding on some great items. Our moto now coming out of turn 4, just about ready to start this one off. And the sound of the whistle, off we go. Hedrick will be the rider in the first position in that blue kit, bib 317. In order behind him, we got Isaac Jurassic as the second position. David Branson for Apex Racing is the third rider. Gene Wainwright for Dyna Racing in fourth spot. Henry Kaiser is the Jerry Baker Jr.'s rider with the bright orange helmet. He's in fifth spot. And the sixth rider in the white and blue of the Broadmark Realty Capital team, Hyun Lee. seeing 2 to go. And again, we're looking for 3 to advance to this major final. Out of this group of 6, half will make it. Couple riders in blue in this field. So we'll see which one of them might be able to make it in the top 3. Hedrick, the rider at the front position, about to be the rider at the lead as the moto will be exiting here in a moment. Off he goes, and now Hedrick looking over the right shoulder. You'll see this position a lot in this race. It is sort of like a large field sprint being established by this pacer. And Hedrick swings way up to the top, says, let's reset this thing a little bit. And we're already rolling. Good opportunity to get up to speed for the junior. The laser takes his shot down to the sprinter's lane, and now he's off and away, leading the lap as Hyun Lee will try to match pace. Hyun Lee's got another gear to try to pop into. He's going to get up out of the saddle and try to get one more big effort and secure this finish. 4 riders coming out of the turn, only 3 it'll advance. Hedrick's trying to squeeze his way in there. Can Kaiser hold on? The second punch coming for the other Joe. It looks like it will not be Kaiser, as it will be Jurassic, Hedrick, and Lee. Coming in nice and tight there around the blue line. Flying in fast, and I believe that will be our 3 for the major final.
All right, Cat 1-2s. This is Heat A of the Kieran. 2 riders advance now from these heats. 2 riders to a 6-rider final. We're going to roll up here. First rider be on the pursuit line. You'll stay in this order as the pacer comes by. I'll start you with a whistle. You stay in this order. Pacer comes off at 1.5 to go. Go ahead and roll up to the rail.
Exciting stuff here as we're going to have very competitive and very important heats now. There's only 2 riders that advance, our largest field tonight, the Cat 1-2s. So very competitive. These 3 heats will only allow 2 riders to continue to race. So that'll be part of this, part of the calculus here is you got to put quite a bit of effort into the heats to make it forward. After the Cat 1-2 heats, it is going to be a junior race. So juniors, don't go too far. Be ready here shortly. Just 2 heats away for the juniors to come back out on track. And the signal for the e-bike on its way. At 4 to go on the cards. The nice short Keirin Heat. Off we go. Only 2 will find their way into the major final from these next 3 heats. Christian Miller in the first spot behind the bike. Nick Martinez immediately behind him. Steven Wilsons is the 3rd rider in the lineup. Behind him, Alex Siegel. Matt Haldeman is the 5th rider, 2nd from the end, and the last rider, John Bowie. So one thing we haven't seen explored a lot in these heats so far is that riders can try to contest a little bit in the back and try to reposition themselves. Once they get through that initial establishing who's got what position, they can reconfigure. Mostly we've seen this where the riders are kind of just okay with being in their positions, waiting until the pacer leaves, and then off we go. Most of the field's pulling up to the right and kind of slowing things down just a little bit, or trying to hold pace down in the sprinter's lane. Not any big attacks right there from the moto leaving. That's pretty typical for the Keirin. This particular formation of riders might look a little different. We'll see. Christian Miller will be about to be at the front of this thing as the moto will be leaving on this back straight. Keirin Heats for the men 3 are up. You can check the major final now. velodrome.org/live. Looking over his right-hand shoulder is Miller. We've seen this quite a few times. I said you're going to see this formation a lot. The lead rider maintaining and watching, guard dogging the front. He says, go ahead and try to come around me. I'm going to make it hard as I need to. As the bell rings, Christian Miller sees Nick Martinez starting to accelerate and doesn't want to let it go, so he'll pick up the pace a little bit. In comes, it's the dirty bird, Alex Siegel. I have to say it once a night when he's out here. Just once. I don't think I can get away with it more than that. And out he comes, is Siegel. Lining it up nicely. Bowie and Miller holds on from the front of the field to be, oh, excuse me, we are changing up here. Miller says, shut up, man, I didn't make it in. I know, sorry. Top two, so it'll be Bowie and Siegel, our two advancers. McLaughlin, Adams, Rusvold, Sandoval, Butler, Darlene, and Carlberg make up Heat B. On deck is Erickson, Russell, Baker, Rogers, Williams, and Hertz, our next field up.
Right, Cat 1-2s. This is Heat B. 2 riders advance to a 6-rider final. We're going to roll up to the rail here. First rider go up to where the pursuit line is. I'll start you with a whistle with the pacer coming by. Go ahead and roll up.
Heat B for the Cat 1-2 men on track. On deck, Heat C. Erickson, Russell, Baker, Rogers, Williams, and Hertz. After them, juniors. Probably time to get ready for the warm-up circle. Junior competitors. You want to stick around after our juniors. The major finals for the Keirins will come up. It's going to be 1 ride per field to sort out the top 6. The major finals coming up after the juniors race. We'll go back to the Cat 4s, the women, the Cat 3s, and the Cat 1-2s. It'll go fast and furious through our Keirin Finals. And the pacer coming on the home straight, exiting the turn. And off we go. It's going to be Stephen McLaughlin, another one of our Portland area competitors in the black kit for Bike Central, making the long journey up tonight to race with us. He takes the front spot. It's Nolan Adams for Dyna Racing in second spot. Ryan Rusvold is the third rider in the lineup. Super Mario Sandoval is the fourth rider in the group. John Butler is fifth in that group. Mike Darlene is in the sixth spot. And at the back of the group for Broadmark Realty, Andrew Carlberg. 2 riders advance to join the major final. So far, I believe, again, it was Bowie and Siegel, the 2 earlier to advance. At 2 to go. Again, our lineup, as called earlier, has maintained. Nobody's going to be vying for any sort of change of position until this race is really underway. Moto leaving on this lap. It'll be McLaughlin at the front of this thing. I've seen him in a number of sprint tournaments. He's a fast rider, and he does not want that front position. Pulls up quickly, giving room for now Nolan Adams to reposition himself. The field's starting to move around a little bit. It's going to be Darlene. Center Cycles wants to make a move at 1 to go. Carlberg followed his wheel up and through the field. Bib number 1, known as a top speed finisher around here. So he's trying to show that off here in the Kieran. McLaughlin says, I can try to match that speed. I'll do what I can down the back straight. Nolan Adams also lined up. It's going to be the top 2. Here we go. Carlberg, McLaughlin, Adams. Whoa, coming through the turn. It's looking pretty crazy here. Carlberg. I think McLaughlin might have found that one unofficially. Second across the line. Carlberg for sure got some separation there from the rest of the riders.
All right, Heats E. 2 riders will advance to a 6-rider final. We're going to roll. Heat C, pay attention to me right here. We're going to roll up to the pursuit line. You're going to roll up to the pursuit line. Hold on to the rail. I'll start you with a whistle as the pacer comes by, and you'll fall in this order behind the pacer. To the red line, halfway down the straight, not all the way to the finish line. I'll show you. All right, let's roll up. Okay. All right, 2 advance, 2 advance. Pacers in turn 4. Riders ready.
And our final heat. We may have some adjustments from our previous heat. I'm awaiting confirmation as Heat C now on the track. And making their lineup behind the pacer, it's going to be Galen Erickson in the first spot, Brandon Russell for front cycling in the second spot, Andy Baker third in the lineup, Mike Rogers the 4th rider, Kenny Williams 5th, and Matty Hers the 6th rider. Radio to James. Looks like we're having a little bit of a communication malfunction, trying to get our officials team all. So I'm helping out if James is available to answer radio. All right, so we'll see how this one plays out. This will be our final 2 to make it in to this major final. Will come out of this heat. Two to go. At 2 to go, still lined up as we announced them to start. And our pacer about to come off the way here. So we'll see how this one goes. As Galen Erickson looking plenty powerful in his first race tonight during the points race. But of course, this race really favors those with the fastest 200-meter times. Big powerhouses can usually put it together here. At 1 to go, 2 riders advance. Who will it be? Erickson still sitting at the front. Number 6, Brando, sitting there looking for his move. He'll not allow Baker to take that position. Instead, it will be himself, the rider in green, moving to the front. Now Baker locking on his rear wheel. Andy Baker's got a big sprint here. Matty Hers trying to match speed. Top 2. 3 riders coming into the turn. Matt Hers is on his acceleration here, but it looks like it's going to be Brando and Baker. Number 4 and number 6 will find their way into that major final. We'll get to see both of them once again. Get a nice little instant replay here on the stream as we get to kind of watch the end of that race from Andy's perspective. Pretty awesome stuff. Juniors, cue on up. We do have a relegation for McGlockry in his heat, Heat B, for not holding the line. That will be a relegation to the last position in the heat, is my understanding. That, again, coming out of Heat B, that will change up who makes it into the top 2 from Heat B. Stay tuned. Juniors are about to come on track. After them, we get started with the finals for this Keirin. Our featured race for the night, the Cat 4 men up first for their Keirin Finals. Again, you can check all, but I think the most recent race will be posted currently on the live link, velodrome.org/live. Cat 1-2 is on their way shortly for that posting. And this will be the juniors' final chance tonight to compete during the Friday night program. They're going to be doing a 4x3 points race. So one more points race for our juniors. It's going to be 4 sprints every 3 laps for 12 laps in total. Going the distance. Man, it's good to be back out here. I can't believe it's almost June. The mountain's shining through beautifully tonight in this gorgeous evening here at the parks. Our thanks to King County Parks for partnering with us for so many years, and in particular in 2021, working with us to come up with a plan that we could all agree to come back out here and start racing. We've been so excited for this opportunity to get back to it. In the neutral currently, we'll get them started, I believe, shortly, as they'll be coming through the turn all together, and then we'll get them started with this 12-lap points race. All right, scene 12 to go. 4 sprints every 3 laps. First bell at 10 to go. Next time we go around, we'll get that first bell. Our juniors out here competing in this points race. So remember, that's the one where we go 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders. So this is going to be a keeping track of the counts and see who comes out with the most at the end of it sort of a race. A little bit more academic for our youngsters. And scene 10 to go. And our first bell for the junior riders. Points next lap. Sadie Evans, the leader of the lap there, 5:02. Coming down through the turns, it looks like 2 riders have found their way out of the front of this field, as it's going to be a 2-up sprint for the 5. Jack Hampson, our rider coming up from Portland for 5 points, I believe. It'll be JC Pyle coming all the way from Kirkland for 3. Gavin Newman, another one of our Portland competitors, making the trip up this weekend, gets 2, I believe. Keirin Finals for the Cat 1-2s have been posted on the live link. 8 to go. Next lap, we'll get another bell. Our riders with the most points are at the front of the field as they've tried to break things away from everybody else. So we've got a bit of separation here, not surprising on this slightly longer lap. And you know what? This junior field's pretty mixed. We got a lot of different age groups all kind of thrown together. So that's kind of what ends up happening in these junior fields. They are coached to work together in any group they can form and keep the pace fast. Most importantly, they're out here to have fun, be safe, and get better at the sport, gain confidence and skills, staying active. It's all those kinds of goals that we have for these kids out here. 7 to go. Our front group making it real interesting here. Bib number 508 is Gavin Newman. He takes the lead spot in front of Jack, hoping to take the lead from him if he can. JC also in the middle of it. I believe that's also going to be Logan over there in the 4th spot in the group, trying to hold on to that lead pace currently. It's going to be our rider Gavin Newman coming out of the turn, trying to find the next 5 here. Gavin getting the 5, and Jack for 3, JC for 2. Unofficially, our race leader is Jack Hampson with 8. Right on his tail is Gavin Newman with 7. And JC Pyle not far behind with 5. So 3 riders off the front, certainly keeping it nice and close. I believe Logan's got a couple points to his name as well. He's kind of on his own right now between the leaders and the rest of the chasing pack. 5 to go. And another bell's ringing. We got some more points coming out. Our race leaders at 4 to go. Just a couple points separating our riders. Our current race leader, 509, is the rider at the very front, only leading by 1 point over the rider in the blue. And our rider in the black and the blue is in 3rd spot with 5 points, so nice and close there. Logan getting the bell, as is our field. And for the 5, oh, Pyle for 5, Gavin for 3, Jack for 2, and it looks like Logan's still up in front of the field. He's going to find another point for himself, so it moves him into a lone place of 4th here. I think we might have a 3-way tie now. I think all 3 of our leaders have 10 points. That call unofficial. At 2 to go. I believe it's going to be 3 riders with 10 points apiece in our lead group after JC found the last 5. So the final sprint will break the tie between those 3. No questions asked. They'll figure out who wins it based on the final sprint, it looks like. Logan doing an awesome job here on his own without anybody to share the workload. At 2 to go, the field getting a little closer to him. That's Cooper Bunn leading the way. Indigo Vining, the rider in 514, now takes the lead for that largest group of riders going under the Broadmark Realty Capital sign. Final sprint. 1 junior to win it. Well, whoever crosses the line first will win this thing out of this group of 3 that's riding at the blue line. They know they're riding basically a 3 junior match sprint now. Logan doing a great job staying away from this field. He gets the belt and is trying to pick up the 2 points here at the end to hold on to 4th place overall. Oh, the big move on the back straight. Looks like JC still had enough in the legs for one more top speed sprint. He had a good one left tonight. JC coming fast out of the turn. It'll be JC Pyle picking up the 10 and the victory in our final junior race. Jack and Gavin racing excellently tonight as well. What a fantastic effort by the two of them. Phenomenal. And we have just a few more racers to help around the corner here, and there's going to be a lot of ties being broken here. Nicely done. Here comes Logan for his points. Nicely ridden by him, and a nice sprint behind him. Indigo coming in fast. Whoa! He almost got there for the 2 points. Nice work out of the field. Fantastic racing, juniors. Nice work. Looks like most of them are making their way on the back straight okay, so I think they're going to be exiting. Nice. That'll be it for the juniors tonight, actually. We've got Keirin Finals coming onto the track now. So our first will be the Cat 4 men. They're on deck will be the Keirin Finals for the women competitors. All women competitors on deck for the Keirin Final. Looks like we have Ben Jurassic, Joe Spranger, Ben Flom, Itai Malakoff, James Campbell-Harris, and Mike Ritter are our major final, and that's the order in which they've drawn. On deck, in order, Gilchrist, Williams, Edwards, Nielsen, Darlene, and Scoville make up the major final for the women. And a warning from the officials team for number 515. Just a reminder to Logan for showing numbers during the race. It's the warning, a reminder from our officials team. Got to show your numbers. All right, now we get to finally see the top 6 for each of our fields tonight in this Keirin Final. We're going to go right through each of the fields one by one. Here comes the Cat 4's top 6 positions going to be settled right here and now. All right, here we go. Our first of the finals on the track to settle who is indeed going to be our fast finisher out of the Cat 4s tonight. Ben Jurassic drew first position. He rides for the Liquid Bellow team in bib number 403. Number 494, Joe Spranger for the Jerry Baker Juniors is in second spot. 412, 412 is Benjamin Flom, riding for Fell Swoop Racing, currently the third rider in the group with the orange kit. Itai Malakoff, another Jerry Baker Jr. rider, is bib 402, the fourth rider. James Campbell-Harris for Artec Racing is the fifth rider in the lineup. He's bib 411. And to round things out, it's Mike Ritter, Dino Racing Team, bib 413. Seeing 3 to go. Here we go. For our final, we're going to start seeing some of that shifting of positions may start occurring. Now racing's really on. Let's see this thing. It's going to be, again, one of our juniors competing tonight is the rider right behind the pacer in the black and green. 3 young riders in this field, actually. 3 under 18 riders. 2 right at the front of it. 2 to go. Pacer leaves on the next lap. We got brothers out there. As actually Joe's brother is riding the bike. Jack's doing some work tonight to help us out with the pacing duties. Our thanks to him. And off he goes. But, Jurassic was thinking, let's take a bit of a pause. Not for Benjamin Flom. He says, let's go. I've got 600 meters of track, and I want to go top speed. I came to race tonight. Let's go. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. The drag race is really on here now. as Flom is just down and in his efforts now with, it looks like Itai Malakoff in great position. It's left a couple riders in a bit behind of a split. Can they hold on? Malakoff looking strong here through the turn. Does he have enough to come around Flom? Mike Ritter also in this mix on the wheel. Who's going to find it? Itai. Can he hold on to this one? Marymoor straight out of the turn. Itai Malakoff will be Malakoff. Finds the wheel and will take the Kieran tonight. Ritter for second place. Also riding beautifully is Flom, leading that big move at 600 meters to go. We'll find third. Our podiums for the Keirin right there. Fantastic riding. Incoming next will be the Cat 3s after this women's field, so please be ready. The women are coming up on the track now. On deck are the Cat 3s final. Hedrick, Pratis, Wilson, Jurassic, Levi, and Lee will be joining us shortly.
Okay, women, this is your Keirin final. We'll do the same start procedure. Roll up to the rail at the pursuit line, and we'll start you with a whistle.
Thank you, folks. Good crowd tonight. Appreciate supporting the riders. They can hear you, and it makes such a difference to have you here supporting them. Fun stuff to watch. Fantastic racing from our Cat 4s here in this preseason right into our kickoff. Again, we get to find the top 6 for our women competitors here in this Keirin final. And we'll get started here momentarily as the pacer will be sent off shortly.
And Williams is a scratch.
Cat 4 Keirin results are posted. You can confirm it once you get off your bikes on the infield. Double check that those look right to you. All right, we're underway. Another exciting final coming onto the track. That's Lucy Gilchrist all in 2s, but this time she drew the first position right behind the pacer. Annette Williams will draw out second spot, bib number 102 for the Kenmore Velo Center Cycles team. Amar Edwards for Greg's is bib 103, the third rider. Fourth rider in the group, Heather Nielsen, bib 111, riding in the red of the Audi Crikey Sports. In bib 101, 101 is Kelly Darlene, also for the Jerry Baker Juniors team. And finally, in the final spot, another Jerry Baker Juniors rider, Danny Scoville, bib 210, 210, making up our field in this major final. So far, getting the most call-outs of anybody, though, is Jack. You've gotten several Go Jacks on the stream already. People are impressed. He's got the help of a battery, though, guys. Come on. All right, so we'll see here. Well, I should probably have looked up as it looks like we may have had a scratch, so I will reconfigure myself here shortly. So 5 riders in the group. It's going to be, I think we're down Williams in the field, so we have Edwards in the second spot, right behind Gilchrist. At 2 to go, the moto leaves on the back straight on this lap. Let's see how Gilchrist wants to ride this thing. Again, it's always interesting to see the front rider's reaction in that last field. It was exciting. The front pulls up and immediately the middle of the field launches. And look at this, the middle of the field, not waiting for the moto to get out of the way, as well before it left, Kelly Darlene was already starting to accelerate right down the middle. Darlene takes the lead. 1 to go. Scoville in position. Edwards also in a great spot. Has plenty of room on the track as she has the upper portion of the track to maneuver on, while the sprinter's lane a little bit caught in there. Oh, can Scoville find room to maneuver as Edwards has got a great position now, as does Nielsen, starting to reaccelerate, the rider for Audi in the red. Can she find enough speed to get up onto the wheel? It's going to be Edwards side by side with Darlene. Coach taking on the kids. Can our rider for the juniors find it? Edwards accelerating. It looks like the pink handlebars may be able to find it. Edwards, Scoville, and Darlene go 1, 2, 3, I believe. A tight finish between the second and third place rider, as Scoville had to shove her way in there a bit, but certainly found some room for the second place finish. Cat 3 men are coming up for their final now onto the track, and they are followed by the final for the category 1-2s. That's going to be
Okay, this Cat 3 final will have the same start position up here on the rail as soon as these women roll by. You'll stay in this order. I'll give you a whistle. You fall back behind the pacer for at least the first lap in this order. You roll up to the rail.
all right. Coming on the track now, this Cat 3 major final. They're followed by Cat 1-2s. That'll be Russell, Bowie, Baker, Carlberg, Adams, and Siegel in that order. Two more Kieran's, our featured heat of the night, featured races of the night, excuse me. Two more races to go in our Kieran's top 6 places sorted out in this event. And off we go. Another exciting Kieran. 2 left to see here tonight. This is what we were really looking forward to in this program. It's always so fun to watch these fast finishes. Our Cat 3s are made up of the field of Carson Hedrick, pulling out position number 1 in bib 317. It's Carl Pratis for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team in second wheel. He's got bib 304. Wearing number 306, Chris Wilson for Found Cycling is the third rider. Fourth rider, Isaac Jurassic for Liquid Velo for the black and green. He's got bib 301 on. Jonathan Levi is bib 319. He's got the black kit on, and he is in the 5th spot. And finally, drawing 6 again, is Hyun Lee with 309 in the white and blue and yellow for the Broadmark Realty Capital team. All right, we saw in the last race a little bit of shuffling before the race ended. Not seeing any just yet, but maybe we'll see some as that moto is getting ready to leave on the next lap. Again, it's Carson Hedrick at the front spot. We saw Hyun Lee all the way from the back of the field in his heat have to really explode from a long distance, but he had the speed to lead the lap after that position, so we'll see how he plays it this time. Certainly the riders don't have that short of a memory for their heats, and we'll remember seeing that not too long ago. You can already start to see the back of the field getting a little bit energized here. Nothing crazy yet, as Hedrick will go ahead and use the right side of the track to slow down, use the hill a little bit, maybe position himself to come back in behind this. It's now Carl Pratis that just says, sure, I'll go and drive it for a little bit. Who's going to come around me? 1 to go. Where are we going to go? Pratis has to move. And it looks like Jurassic's going to try to come up alongside of him. Chris Wilson still right behind him, the rider in the dark green and that bright green helmet, trying to find some room. Can he find it? Hyun Lee goes down to the sprinter's lane. Can he get out of there? Chris Wilson up and out of the saddle. Now he's really moving. The rider in the dark green coming along the right side of one of our juniors. Carl Pratis from the front. They can't come around him. Carl Pratis for 400 meters. 600 meters of Pratis. Can he go? Carl Pratis, hold it on. He gets it. What? Woo! All the way around the track and then some. You could see everyone just trying to find that one little inch to they just couldn't get it. Our junior will hold on in a great lap and a half as he finds the front of that field and just doesn't let go. Whew. How about it, folks? One more round of applause for that finish. That was tight. Nice work. Whew. All right, catching my breath. Here comes our final one. They're already
So
queued up and ready to
Kieran,
go, so let's get this thing racing.
Kieran 1-2 final. Let's roll up to the rail. Same starting procedure. We'll start you with a whistle as the pacer comes by. You need to stay in this order behind the pacer until 1 lap is done. Pacer comes off at 1.5 to go.
All right, here it is, our last chance for Keirin Racing tonight. As you can see, this is why this is one of our favorites. This makes for fun, fast finishes. Coming after this, though, we still got some great racing. Our longest distances of the night will come in the form of some scratch races coming up after this. All right, off we go. It's Brando, the Mando, in the front position for Found Cycling. Brandon Russell's taking that front spot. Behind him is John Bowie, bib number 3 for Liquid Velo. The third rider in the group, Andy Baker, is riding for the Broadmark Realty team, bib number 4. Wearing number 1, Andrew Carlberg, also for the Broadmark Realty team, is in 4th spot. The 5th rider in the group is Nolan Adams. He rides for Dyna Racing, bib number 11. And Alex Siegel, Broadmark Realty team 27, is the last rider in the group. 3 riders on the same team, but yes, this is still an individual event, and they're all going to be out here figuring out who will be the fastest out of this field. Only 2 were able to qualify out of these heats, so theoretically, you thought those last 3 were fast. This should be, by the numbers, our fastest field, just because, 1, it was a stricter sort of requirement to make it in here. Harder to make it into this field. Out of 3 heats, only 2 advanced. So everyone's going to be ready to roll in this thing. So let's keep our eyes peeled here. In about a lap, we're going to be losing our pacer. And then it's going to be our lead rider's choice about how to maneuver. Brandon Russell trying to get nice and arrow and keep right up on that bike. As the pace is starting to accelerate, you can actually see the lineup is getting a little stretched here. And he will keep the pace quick here, staying down and low and arrow. Nothing going on too crazy behind him just yet, as he's just trying to keep it nice and consistent. Here's the one to go. Everybody looking over the right-hand shoulder. This is going to come down to some big move and twitch at some point. Bowie says, time to go. Number 3 up and out of the saddle. Off he goes down through corner number 1. It's going to be the rider in black. Look at this move. He's already got a big bike length or 2 behind him and Baker, but look out for Carlberg. We know he's got the top speed here. Can he put it all together? It looks like he's got the gears to make this happen. Baker trying to catch up on it, but looks like Carlberg, this is his event, and he says, no way. I stand at the top of the Kieran. Let's get this thing rolling. Carlberg, whoa, Siegel. All the way back from about 5th position at the beginning of that sprint, I think will come up alongside of Baker and Bowie for 3-up sprint. But I think if I'm giving it to anybody for 2nd, I think it's Alex Siegel on the outside, unofficially. Yeah, it will be number 27, Siegel on the outside, able to find a 2nd place finish. Carlberg lining things up from the middle of the field. Will find the overall victory and the crown for the fast finish. Kieran. One more round of applause for our Kieran event tonight. I think Eric's just... All right, I got so wrapped up in those races. We're about ready for our next event. Scratch races coming up, Cat 4 men.
Yeah, last call for Cat 4s. You're ready to remove your masks. 16 lap scratch race. We're going to start neutral from here. All right, roll out. I'll start you with a whistle after a lap.
Cat 4 men, 16 lap scratch now coming onto the track. So you recall the scratch race is where the fastest racer wins. Whoever gets to the line before the rest of the riders is our winner. Our track is 400 meters long, so 16 laps. We're just saying right around 4 miles for this event. Longest distance races tonight will be in these scratches. What's nice about having a little bit longer distance on such a simple race like this is it allows for kind of a pure tactical approach. Do you want to try to play for the sprint at the end? You just got to survive the high speed overall. Do you want to try to get away from the field, maybe have some sort of overall big endurance effort?
And
this is just long enough to do that.
And we're going to have one dessert cream here at some point.
And there will be a dessert cream included as well, so. Nice. We are racing. All right, so we'll get one bell during the race from the infield for a dessert preem, and we've got 16 laps on the cards, and racing is underway. As you can see, the field is already starting to hustle. That's Zach Jurassic, number 404, hustling and bustling off the front right now, taking this early lap lead. So the only sort of midway prize that one can pick up here is going to be that dessert box preem from our friends at Blue Ribbon, our fantastic catering service that we have known and grown to love over the last couple of years, working with us during our in-person auction. Yes, indeed, we do have an auction going on right now. Mentioned it several times throughout the stream. Just one more quick plug if you are able to do so and have the ability to donate and or bid on some items that would help us. That would be fantastic. The easiest way if you're here at the Velodrome is to go to velodrome.org/live, and the link is right at the top of that link. So velodrome.org/live, and then you can get to the auction from there very easily. It's still Jurassic off the front. Big gap for him in front of the field. He's just trying to find a nice consistent tempo now in his efforts, trying to get into the zone and stay away from this field, at least for several more laps. It'll make them work to catch him at the least. If you get lucky and work hard enough, you might even get a break going here, but it looks like the riders in the field are starting to calculate it. Maybe it's time to put in some effort and bring back this rider, and they will organize behind the speed of Benjamin Flom, the rider in orange. All right, this looks like he'll look over his shoulder and say, yeah, looks like they made it. Good fast couple laps as Jurassic will pull to the right and rejoin the ranks. The hardest place to be in cycling, of course, is at the front of any sort of formation. You're doing the most amount of work when if you're on your own, it's even harder. So those solo efforts can be very difficult to maintain for too long, but it does force the field to pick up pace overall. So he can come back in the field, recover, maybe not do some pulls for a couple laps here, and be ready for the next big effort. And 11 to go. Our Cat 4 is all still together. One preem still up in the air for that dessert box. If you want to see more racing action like this and you're just maybe coming through the park and seeing what the heck's going on here under the Friday night lights in this Velodrome, we do race here every Friday night. This is our special kickoff event. We've been racing for the last couple weeks during our preseason, and just now we're making the switch to call it the regular season as we come into the summer months. We only cancel racing on a weeknight if it is raining. So our normal weeknight races are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All starting at 7 o'clock, and our main program, the one that you're experiencing now, is always on Fridays. That's kind of our spectator-friendly and exciting race program that we put together for you every week. In addition to that, we've added racing in this year for Saturday and Sunday. Not weekly, but occasionally. If you want to check those races out, you certainly can. Any race besides a Friday night is free admission for spectators. If you just want to swing by and see what's going on, you're welcome to do so. Friday nights through the regular season, we do ask for $5 at the gate. Generally speaking, that helps kind of support the racing activities, helps keep these races sanctioned, and support all the staff that are behind the scenes supporting our racers and this facility. Grouped up together on the back straight, and not yet to the halfway point, but getting awfully close. In the 16-lap event, again, 4 miles total distance. They've ridden about 2 at this point. We saw the early effort from Zach Jurassic, and nobody else really wanting to race that type of race. Happy to just kind of be in the field, take turns. What does that really spell out? That spells out basically the sprinters are going to be fresh, and whoever's got the top speed will probably be our victor. At halfway to go, 8 to go. Riding a little wide on the track right now, so not at top speed. No one's clamoring for a spot to hide at this exact second. Not looking for a wheel to draft on necessarily. And just enough prompting. I like to imagine it's my fault. Talking about their speed, one rider will move out of the field and begin to re-accelerate things, and being joined by a fair number of riders at 7 laps to go. Kyle Wills, hometown Cincinnati, riding in here, will take a lead lap, pull up out of the way after accelerating the field again. And once his energy is spent, the field says, yeah, no thanks. And seeing 6 to go. Flom on the front of this thing, again for Fell Swoop. Starting to count things down as we're well into the single digits, so riders going to feel kind of that downhill surge here soon. But before we get to that sprint laps or two, there's going to be oftentimes these kind of sit-up moments where the field rides wide like they are now, kind of like a reset again, waiting for the next attack or the next move. Oh, that bell is for a dessert box. Who wants to take home the dessert box here at 5 to go? Anybody clamoring for some blue ribbon dessert box? Leader of the lap will pick it up. Dessert box on the lap. It looks like it's going to be 2-up sprint here. And you know a junior's got their name written all over the dessert box, because why not? Is that Go Joe Go? I think it is. I think seeing 4 to go is Joe Spranger picks up the dessert box, 494. Says, oh yeah. Blue ribbon's going to make me a happy guy. He'll sit up. Recover from that. He still has designs to sprint on the final sprint, not too far away, so he has to be smart, find a wheel, and try to recover a little bit. Be as fresh as he can for that last effort. Three to go. 3 to go. So now this is kind of that last moment where the riders are realizing they either go a little early or it's just going to be that all-out 1 to go sprint. And so positioning and tactics and kind of thinking ahead, you got to be one step ahead of everybody. You know, what wheel is going to be the one to go? Which one do I want to be on? How do I not get locked in here? I don't want to be in a position where I can't maneuver anymore, get boxed in, unable to reposition myself. So this is going to be those setup laps. Riders that want to compete will need to move into a spot here and be ready, as we're seeing 2 to go. Starting to get kind of 2 lineups now, maybe 3. Benjamin Flom not wanting to give up that lead position, even though he's not in the sprinter's lane. He wants to be at the front, so he's starting to move up there. He might be allowed to take it. Malakoff, our winner from the Kieran, moving into his position as well. So now you can see the front starting to stretch out a little bit. This is going to be sort of a The acceleration from the front of the field as they prepare themselves for the finish. 1 to go for our scratch race, our last race of the night for our Cat 4s. 1 to go. Flom still in the front. Malakoff looking around to see if he's got room to maneuver. The field's starting to swarm coming into turn 2. It's still going to be Ben Flom on the front as Malakoff trying to keep the speed here, but coming out of the middle of the field, another one of our fast finishers. It's going to be Ben Jurassic now making his presence known. Itai Malakoff maybe waiting for him to come into view. He will try to match his tempo, staying on his inside line. He's not going to give him the sprinter's lane. Malakoff has got the shorter line. Can he win another one tonight? It looks like Malakoff's got the speed and the power to finish it. It will be Malakoff. And Ritter sneaking in for another one again as he found the speed needed in those final moments. Mike Ritter coming in second. I think it's Jurassic will hold on for third. The unofficial call, Itai Malakoff goes and takes our second and third races tonight in the Cat 4s.
Nobody's like us. When people see us, they know. I feel so much for you that I don't know what to do.
Thank you, Cat 4s. Fantastic racing tonight. Excellent work.
All right, women, we're going to start neutral from here for a 16-lap scratch race. We'll start here in a moment. There is one preem for a dessert box. Right, roll out.
All right, women competitors taking the track. 16 laps on the cards after this neutral will get it started for their scratch race, and dessert box will also be in there. Couple races left in this racing program tonight, and it's been a great evening. Our featured race in the middle made for some exciting finishes. We're not done with those. We still got some great scratch races going on here as our women competitors are on track now. On deck will be the Cat 3s for their scratch race. Cat 1-2 men will be the final race of the night for their scratch race. And our women off for 16 laps of scratch race. Fastest rider tonight will be the winner. First to ride across the line. I see a comment there on the YouTubes about the track being huge. I haven't mentioned it is a huge track. If you're tuning in from far away, you might be kind of surprised about the size of the facility. It's a 400-meter track, so typically if you watch international competition, most often you're going to see facilities between 333 and 200 meters is a pretty common size. In particular, there's many indoor facilities that match that sizing. 250, thank you for the clarification. Ours is extraordinarily gentle. It's a great track to race on and learn on. And in fact, the embankment here, because of the size, does make it a very nice place to learn how to race and ride on a track bike. So one of the advantages of this facility is the educational opportunities it does offer. Being outdoors, it's got some other challenges, of course, but one of the benefits is on a beautiful night like this, we get the backdrop of the fantastic Pacific Northwest. But yeah, the Gentle Giant here in Redmond, once resurfaced, built back in 1975, resurfaced since then, but otherwise, much in the same shape as it has been ever since originally constructed. Our women's field taking the turns at the front here. Everybody, again, this is kind of that who's going to be the most efficient way to race something like this is to take your turns at the front. The hardest spot to be is leading it out, so to keep the field moving and counting down the laps, take your turns at the front, swing out of the way, and find a spot in the group. We have a lot of great sponsors here that help support track racing beyond just the volunteer efforts and all of the fundraising that we do. I want to draw your attention and remind you to a couple of the ones we have here that we're excited about. We have a new sponsor this year, Postdoc, which is right outside of the park, as well as Locust Cider, who will help us with our upcoming beverage garden. As you can imagine, with current safety protocols, that has been one of the biggest challenges at the beginning of our regular season, is having that ready and available to go. But we are working on it during the year. And we expect, with protocols changing and whatnot, that we'll be able to share a drink with our fans here shortly. Our thanks to Locust Cider and, of course, to Postdoc Brewery for their support and helping us make 2021 a little bit more fun for everybody here. Those beverage gardens will be open. The adult beverage garden will be open on Friday nights, and we will make sure to announce when the protocols allow for us to make that happen, as we are still working on the safety protocols around such a thing. Things starting to roll along here. There's our dessert box at 10 to go. Blue ribbon dessert box at 10 to go. Who wants the sweets? 10 to go. And who's going to be the dessert box grabber? It looks like it's going to be Darlene. Get the sweets. Again, our thanks to Blue Ribbon Food Catering Services. So Darlene says, let's ride the wave here a little bit. Might as well. I already put in the effort, so I'm going to continue to roll away from the field as best she can at 8 to go. What a great space to be in here, as she's got that gap now established between her and the field, and if she can just be consistent at the least, she's going to make this field work awfully hard to bring her back. Ashley Hudson doing the work for the field right now to kind of be that encourager to move them along. Darlene swinging onto the home straight with the field well organized behind her at 7 to go. Again, Hudson having to do a lot of the work, and Darlene recognizing that it's just not going to stick any longer. Might as well give up the chase and recover for the next effort, but a lot of effort spent by the field, so mission accomplished one way or another. She'll come back into that group, and we'll see what happens next with this scratch race. No more preems to throw out their way, just a race of laps. They're now at that blue line, sitting a little high. Time to recover after all that speed, which actually gets some time for our juniors to reset themselves in here. We got some of our older junior competitors able to join in on the women's field tonight. Those are a good looking dessert box. If you didn't get yours tonight, we do have more for sale tomorrow. We'll have them here and available in the building. I gotta say, I pass up on the coconut treats, but whatever they did to that coconut thing that's in that box, like, I want more. It's really good. Just saying. Macaroons too. I mean, come on. All right, going underneath the Stanley sign over there, another of our great partners in the community. Stanley stepping up big in the last couple of years to sponsor the track. Over in turn 3, our group now coming out of turn 4, all bunched up at 5 to go. Riding 3 and 4 wide there as our riders clearly not at top speed. They're in the interim between the sprint efforts of the preem and knowing that it's about to get fast as we roll our way towards that finish. It's 5 to go, so about to be 4 to go. Cat 3 men, you should be getting ready to queue up. Cat 3 men coming up soon. We'll be here in the morning again for some more racing. The time trials will get kicked off with our shorter distances. We'll go with the 500 and then work our way up through the kilo, the 2K, the 3K, the 4K. We got a sprint tourney going on tomorrow. Racing starts at 10. You can certainly arrive in the hour or so before and get yourselves well set up. Hour and a half, get here. We'll have to still do our check-in procedures. Just be wary of that. Excited for a lot of racers that have signed up to compete in those time trials tomorrow morning. And then, of course, 6 o'clock is a reminder for tomorrow evening session. If you want to come check that out as a spectator, of course, our riders will be starting at 6. So you want to be here, again, about an hour before racing is a good time to aim for. Coming down to it. So now we're starting to see the acceleration into the final laps with the cards now showing 2 to go. 2 to go.
Cat 3 to the lineup grid.
Cat 3 is being called to queue. Cat 3s, please queuing up on the infield. Not yet into the sprint mode. This field still kind of holding on. It's Danny Scoville, the leading rider, bib 210. And now they can all see her. It'll be Emily Alexander for Liquid Velo. Black and green makes the big move out of turn 2, and she's got a long ways to go, but she's going to try to pick the long way rather than the short way. Off we go. The sprint is on from the back straight. Emily's got a nice big opening. 1 to go. The infield's excited about it. She's got a big gap here. The field's going to have to really turn things up quickly. Danny's in a great spot and is going to try to lead the way from the front. It's still Emily Alexander. Emily leading things out, starting to lose a little bit of her lead. Can she hold on? It's going to be Kelly Darlene starting to pick up some pace down the back straight. It's still Emily Alexander on the front. Darlene accelerating, Annette Williams coming into the picture as well. It's going to be, Alexander trying to hold on for this one. Here they come. It'll be Annette Williams flying in over the top as it'll be Williams, Darlene, and Scoville. Go 1, 2, 3. Alexander still gets a top 5 for her efforts there with the early attack. A nice ride for her, but it will be Williams, and it looks like Darlene and Scoville rounding out the top 3 for the women's scratch.
Next race, Cat 3s will be racing a 20-lap scratch race. There is one preem for a dessert box during the race. We're going to roll neutral from here. Roll out.
Category 3 is now onto the track for the neutral. On deck, Category 1-2s for our final race of the night. We got 2 more scratch races to go, our longest races yet. We got a 20-lapper upcoming for these Cat 3s. There will be a dessert box preem in the midst of this one. 1 dessert box preem. Peter will ring the bell for that one on the infield. Huh, not you, Snowblin. I mean, I guess we can throw a bell to you. That might be kind of interesting. Yeah, if you hold the bell, I think you know how to win the sprint. I mean, you better. That's a pretty big handicap. Okay, so in the neutral, we're going to start out of turn 4. As long as they're all together, just ensuring they have the opportunity to stay all in contact. No unfair starts for anybody. Henry Kaiser taking that opening lap, pulls out of the way in turn 3. Nice quick opening lap thanks to his efforts to accelerate right away. So we're going to definitely be clicking along at the early laps of this event. Isaac Jurassic. Snowman at the lead, so really nice looking speed here early on in this race, trying to keep it up quick. The formation that they are in now is just that really efficient pace line. Whenever you're fast, that's where you got to do. You got to find a wheel to be on, so that is what is going on early on in this one. Levi in the black, 319, takes his turn at the front. Couple riders not showing that they're willing to do too much pulling yet, so they're hoping to survive the speed and then be the sprinters to win it all. So there's where you have the push and the pull of these kinds of races. That's kind of where the battle, the internal battle is happening. You've got the riders that don't want to do that effort because they're trying to save for the finish, and then you have the ones that are trying to do the effort because their strength is in maintaining the high speed. So you got to play to your advantage and to your strength, and sometimes that means that's the motivation for keeping it fast here in these middle laps. Looks like Hune's giving the wave. All right, 14 to go. Our field just being pretty unrelenting here. Nice, consistent speed as riders continue to take their turns. About 1 lap Half lap poles, pretty common around here, not a full lap. A half lap, about 200 meters or so. Sort of the typical etiquette on our track. Riders using the embankment as sort of that way to naturally put on the brakes without having to boonie, backpedaling, and then use the hill to re-accelerate themselves back into the lineup. So you can see how that'd be the perfect place to do those exchanges. $12 to go, and you can start to see that this consistent pace is starting to pay dividends a little bit here, as you can see some riders showing a little bit of sign of the wear and tear. I expect somewhere a little past the halfway point will sort of be that breaking moment where either riders will start to lose the pace a little bit, or there's going to have to be kind of a group reset. You can only push so long for so hard to try to get rid of riders before you yourself need to grab a little bit of breath. At 11 to go. Field being very consistent and stubborn and just riding together currently. About to be at that halfway point. That bell's for a dessert box. Who'd like to go out and grab the dessert tonight at a little past the halfway point? We got 9 to go and a dessert box to lead the lap. We'll see if anybody's hungry for the goodies. I have it on good word from a food critic that works up here in the velodrome that the brownie bites are incredible. This might be a bit of a fire starter for the field too. We're going to see how this one plays out. It looks like Levi, Jonathan Levi, rider 319, looks like will be our rider for the dessert box. Now you see the preen can also be a problem starter as the field's starting to be a little bit snapped apart here from that effort. 5 riders form a field that's now off the front of some stragglers trying to find their way back into it. So changing the format and the sort of the layout of this race to some degree. We've had a very consistent and stubborn field. Chris Wilson in the dark green. Henry Kraser in the black and blue with the orange helmet. Makes it into this surviving field. So we made it past that breaking point, and in certain ways, I helped make that happen with that preem. So we got to that just past the halfway point, and then you got to stick with the speed, and that's what we ended up happening here. And now the field, knowing that they've lost a few, they're going to just stay on it. If you rest, the field will just get larger. He brings those riders back into it too easy. They've got the power of numbers, so they're going to keep using it. Levi at the front. John Levi pulls to the right. It's going to be Isaac Jurassic in the black and the green, another one of the riders that made it through. Carson Hendrick right behind him. Chris Wilson, the rider in third wheel spot in the green. Peter Snoblin in the white with yellow, the fourth rider that made it into that group. It does look like the pace not quite enough to shed David Branson, who's going to work his way back in for Apex Racing. So our field grows one stronger at 5 to go. If he can find that wheel, he's on his way to do so. So nice recovery from our rider from Apex. Looks like 4 to go for the leaders. Getting down to it. There might be a lap or two where you'll see a wide formation as the riders know they're just about there, but with this field, the pace has been so consistently high. Even as they go wide, once again, a rider takes the front position right away and keeps it quick. And this time, not only will it be a rider at the front, another rider will take it from him. It's going to be Snowblin who wants to try to go out for a solid 4 laps of racing here. Not trying to let this be a sprint once again at 3 to go. He's going to put in a big effort. Chris Wilson on the chase. Carson Hedrick also pursuing. On deck, Cat 1-2s, please be ready to go. We're going to queue you up here in just a moment. Cat 1-2 is set to go. Our final race of the night. With Snowblin caught, he says, yep, I'm going to sit up, rest and recover. I only got a little bit to do it, might as well. Hey, remember this guy, he won a pretty fast race from the front. We'll see what he can do here at 2 to go. Carl Pratis in position again. Levi now takes the front. Of course, Pratis not on the lead lap, but in the mix of it again as he's found himself on the back of the field. But it's going to be Jonathan Levi not pushing the pace too hard. He's waiting for the sprint again. This is going to be a big one. And the laser's launching from the field. Off he goes. Caught the front sleeping a little bit. Looking strong. He's up and out of the saddle trying to get this thing up to top speed. Chris Wilson now in response. He has to react awfully fast. So does Jurassic. Oh, my goodness. This is a big ask for the junior, but Chris Wilson says, I think I got just enough to get there, and so does Jurassic. The laser losing a little bit of steam down the back straight. It's going to be Wilson coming out of the turn for Pound Cycling, the dark green jersey. Can he hold on for this one? Chasing him down is going to be Liquid Velvet. It will be Pound Cycling taking this one. Kaiser still holds on for third in that incredible effort out of the field. Not a bad result at all. An impressive final lap for our Cat 3s and a great night of racing for them as well. I think we're asking maybe for something that we can't do anymore. I think that most of them have left, but finished around maybe 5th or 6th place in the Cat 4 race. Cat 4 men may need to come to the official stand for clarification if you're still here. Cat 4s, if you finished around 5th or 6th place, somewhere in that range, we're looking for someone for confirmation to the official stand.
All right, 1-2s. We're going to ride 20 lap scratch race with a preem for a dessert box. We will start from here, roll out.
One preem to come from Peter on the infield. He'll ring it for that dessert box. Otherwise, we got 20 laps of scratch racing. Fastest rider overall will be our winner. We're in the neutral currently. Get him started out of turn 4. And we're underway, 20 to go. Our final race here for session 1 of the kickoff. Category 1-2 men off for 20 laps of scratch racing. Christian Miller says, I'll take the lap. And we're ringing for the dessert box on the first, well, I guess the second lap, really. Dessert box to lead the lap. Who wants the dessert box from Blue Ribbon early in this race? Down the back straight. Who wants to find the dessert box? There's plenty of speed coming from the blue line. Whoa, here they come. Who's going to find this pre coming out through the turn? It's going to be either Siegel or Carlberg. It's going to be Carlberg. Was the bird squawking through that one? Like, woo! He sounded like that was his most frustrating loss so far.
I belong to you. I belong to you. Do just what you want. You're the one I trust. And I always be around when I need some loving, baby.
All right, so our field's surviving after the fast dessert box sprint for the most part. Couple casualties, it looks like. Mission accomplished for a few of our riders there, it looks like. But otherwise, we still got several more laps to go here in our scratch race, and things looking still very fast at the front of our field. At 15 to go, it's now going to be Galen Erickson taking the lead. All right, lots of action here at the front. Steven Wilson's now trying to pull away a little bit with Galen Erickson working alongside him, and that looks like Andy Baker and Matty Hers, a couple names I've been calling frequently tonight as they've been working off the front more than once.
Take me to your soul.
You can see a little bit of a valley there that's formed between the front and back groups, but not enough to really say that this race is broken apart yet. This group of 7 is really trying to hustle along here at 12 to go. Hers looking around, sees he's got a heck of a crew with him. Careful. So that small break has mostly come back together again despite that early effort. And we have, again, enough pressure here to start having riders in a chasing position, but for the most part, this field is holding on together here. Going down the back straight is the front of the race. Lost some riders over time here, so it's getting thinned out. Now the goal is survival to make it across this big wall of speed that has hit this field at the beginning of the race. We're now more than halfway through it. Will the pace keep up, or are we going to have a bit of a break here soon? It looks like at 8 to go. Andy Baker wants to keep it quick. Baker again at the front. Nolan Adams in the mix as well. Riders under turn 2 are currently at the front of the race. Maddie Hers once again finds the front. 10 riders make up that main field going under turn 3 currently. And the field sits up high and underneath, leaving lots of room. One rider will take the bait, I think, from this distance. I think that's going to be Haldy based on the way he's sitting on the bike. But maybe that's Butler. I'm taking a second look here. 5 to go. It will be John Butler sitting there at the front of the field. Number 24. Checking between the legs to see who is there. Still Butler on the front of this thing, but the field has certainly organized, and he looks and sees that it's coming. So he'll pull up and try to reset himself for a moment. Only 4 to go. No time to slow down. Baker, Adams. Super Mario at the front there in the dark green. Now the mission is speed, speed, speed. Nobody wanted to slow this thing down at 3 to go. Mario keeping it moving. He pulls up to the right. Takes a quick pull. Who else is going to keep it rolling? Is anybody else going to do the effort to move this thing along? Once again, this happens just the same exact way about 2 or 3 laps ago. It's going to be Martinez that says, "No, I'm not ready to slow down. Let's go." And Wilson says, "Sure thing." And at only 2 laps to go, Martinez on the front of this thing. Wilson's on the wheel. 2 to go. Bowie looking them down. He's got incredible fast finishing speed tonight, and he's also made it through into this large group that had to survive all these laps. Will Bowie be in the right position to win this thing? We're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be Martinez, and Wilson's off the front with a great 2-man punch here. Can they hold off this field? Maddie Hers says, "I don't think so. I'm going to start reeling them back in." 1 to go. Martinez, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. Wilson's now wants to get up and out of the saddle. He does not want to let this field catch him after this 20-lap race. Coming down through the back straight, it's going to be Martinez getting sucked up by a couple of the riders in the main field as now Hers catches. Incoming Bowie and Baker. We've said those two a couple times. It's going to be Bowie coming out of the turn trying to catch down on Wilsons, who's now at the front of this race. Wilson's all on his own. Nobody can catch Wilsons. Bowie and Baker, Bowie and Baker with a great sprint to close out this scratch race. It'll be Baker in second place, Bowie third. Wilson's our big winner in tonight's scratch race. Fantastic work. No, that's okay. We can do that. That's about that time. How about one more round of applause for all of our athletes, our volunteers, our officials team for this first session. A great success and a fantastic evening of racing as we are now all wrapped up tonight we are getting ourselves out of here over the next couple minutes. We'll be packing things up. We'll be back with more racing action tomorrow at 10 in the morning for our time trials. And then, of course, we'll be back at it for some more mass start events tomorrow night at 6 o'clock for the third and final session of the kickoff event. We thank you again so much. If you were tuning in online and enjoyed what you saw, please leave a comment. Maybe want to send us a little criticism or some suggestions for improvement. You can do that as well. Leave a thumbs up, a follow, a subscribe, and the bells, and all that fun stuff that you can do. That would just be wonderful. We'll see you again for more action here. We look forward to hosting you for more racing at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.